have a band manager that is on board with your mission, or, you know, the idea of this is a ministry, then you'll see your sales drop, you'll see your attitude of your employees change, the outlook of your customers changes. Just keeping that good manager in place with the God attitude, the family atmosphere, and staying in God's will for that location.
Yeah, we had a particular store that we had a manager who was struggling, and we did have to separate from them and bring in a new manager who was a great manager, and we noticed about a $20,000 improvement on month one. So just so you know how quick that changes, is because she's on top of everything. She's watching production, she's making sure the rates are matched, she's making sure they're doing it. If they're not holding up counters throughout the store, they're not taking 2 hours to put up 5 pieces of clothes. She's watching everything, and she's taking on that management role, so wanting to sit in the office, wondering why the store's not getting better. You know, she's taking on a proactive role, and literally within that first month, there was $12,000 extra.
And no matter how you look at it, what infrastructure you have in place, the store takes on the personality of the manager. So if you have a manager that's ho-hum and, you know, oh, it's another day, your whole store is going to become that way, and the sales will go down. If you have a person like we do at that store that they're talking about, they're on fire, they want to do it, they love the mission, boy, the atmosphere changed, and like they said, within the first month, we already saw a $20,000 difference in what the sales were for that month. So a store can either be broken or it can be pumped up by a good manager. We are about owning properties because it's more advantageous than leasing. We've leased many properties through the years, and we find that it's a good way to test the market, and that's okay. But if you know that's a good market for donations, if you know that that area is good, it's going to support the store. And we, at this point, have gotten to the point where we're going to build or buy something that's existing. As you saw, we went from, I didn't show at the beginning, but our net assets when I first came were about $1 million. And now we're at $25 million. A big part of that is our thrift stores. Because we own 5 thrift stores that, it's probably $12 or $13 million just in assets in our thrift stores. And so, you know, big thing for us is owning. The earlier session where you heard Rob talking about this, and I am totally agree. In fact, who's the guy that's Millionaire Next Door guy? I can't remember his name now. Rob, he's got the Japanese name. Kiyosaki, thank you. Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's what it is. And he mentions in his book, he talks about, hey, McDonald's is not a burger joint. It's a real estate joint. They go out and try to buy as much real estate as they can in the best places because they're about real estate. Same thing for us. You know, if we're buying these pieces of property, none of them are going to go to waste. The property always goes up. There was only a couple times in our history, and one was a little bit during COVID when property prices went down a little bit. But man, I'll tell you what, this property that we just built, the Madison store that we built for about $2.8 million, is worth about $5 million now. That's only 3 years down the road. So that increases your net assets very quickly. And if you ever have to sell, my board always said, we don't really have a rainy day fund at our mission because we are totally about putting as much money into the ministries as we can. And I know a lot of people think, well, that's probably not good. But my thing is we could sell a thrift store if we had to. We have a rainy day fund to sell a thrift store because those properties are worth money. And if we really fell in desperate times and we weren't having that money come in, we could do that. So we are very much about buying property. Store location mostly depends on your donor base. Yes, you do want shoppers, but shoppers are going to come where there's good, if there's good pieces of clothing out there, or you have good furniture, you've got good donations, you're going to get those customers who come in. Now, you don't want to put a store on the wrong side of the tracks. We talk about that all the time. It's always got to be on the better side of the tracks. We had one store that we just closed that the area over the last 10 years has decreased. It's not, when we first had the store there, it was a pretty good area. but that area has kind of gone down, and we saw our donations go down. Well, when your donations, the quality of your donations go down, boy, your sales are hit really hard. Mike, you want to talk about that just a second?
Yeah, it's the quality of those donations, and then that area is declining. The people with the donations stop coming. And so our average price per shopper went down. The donations in the back, you come in on Monday and they're destroyed, they're spread out all over, and all
People sleeping in them.
increased. So our expenses increased as well as our average sales is declining, and the level of, or even the amount of donations was declining. So we were having a lot of expenditures without the benefit to it.
Yeah.
So it became a location, and it was not the rest of the
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you guys have an online presence, and if you do, does that draw foot traffic to the store?
So Mike and I have debated this for a long time, because you're like, hey, you put your stuff out there and it's to the world, right? You don't, it's like, shopping online. If you put it online, it's for everybody. It's not just the local people shopping. The problem is that we've kind of let other missions that we've been friendly with through the years to let them do it first to see how it would go. And there's not one mission that we know that's making money on their online stores. And they're doing a great job. They're trying to do it, but it's a lot of work. And the problem is that, if you put a T-shirt up there, we get a lot of clothing. 60% of your income from your store should be through clothing. If you put a pair of jeans or something out there, you're against everybody else that's got a pair of jeans up out there. So when people are thrift store shopping, they're coming to find the best value, right? They're coming to see, hey, oh man, there's a pair of Lucky jeans, or man, I got this for $10 instead of paying $150, right? When you're online, it's a lot harder because the competition's out there, and they're searching for a pair of jeans. They're not searching for a downtown rescue mission pair of jeans. And so we have found, in fact, the Waterfront Rescue Mission, where Dr. Gray was, they have an online presence. Is it 5,000 items they keep going at one time, Mike?
That's they try and make it so there's 5,000.
They've got about 4 or 5 employees that do that. We went down and toured it about a year ago, and boy, just the model does not seem to work. And they're like, yeah, we're just trying to break even. We're trying to break it. Well, they've been trying to break even with it for 3 or 4 years now, and we're about making money, right? I mean, we want these stores to make money. We're going to let somebody figure it out first, and we'll come on board later. Mike and I, our idea is we'd like to see all the rescue missions get together and do their own store. That's the way I think it could work. If we all came together and we had our own store where we could, like ThredUp or one of those ones that is an online thrift store. If we as rescue missions came together, I think it will work, because you don't have to have a whole store. We all could have our own items. And it doesn't have to be 5,000 or 10,000 items out in that store that you're having 4 or 5 employees. You can just put up a couple items and sell what you're going to do. What we do on the other side of it is we do an in-store auction. And that drives foot traffic in, because you have to come in and write down your auction price on the item that you're bidding on. And then the next day somebody else comes in, well, you got to come back in a couple of days later, and we run them for either 2 weeks or a month. And then that's driving people back in to see, hey, somebody just put $5 more on that item. I want that item. I'm going to put another $5 on it. All right.
We just talked about too, with the auction, that's where we get more value for certain items. So we can take collectibles and we can put it together and actually have a better value. So like, she was a story I'm about to tell, but we had Pokemon, and for those, like, I'm not that familiar, but they're all actually done on the packs. So in our Alberton location, so like 3 days, within 3 days, 2 on open pack, a little Pokemon, and little plushies. And it was already at $440. So, and that was just within a couple of days. Usually doesn't need to know what to look for the unique type stuff, but if, we had middle glass and another one. We've had furniture that was donated to us that was brand new, actually furniture that still had the tags when we were a dealer, but this was donated, still had tags on it. We put it up, it would have sold for about $6,000 in an Ashley store. We got $4,200 for it in our auction. So it's a great avenue for us, and they have to come in. They cannot bid online. They cannot,
We get comic books, we get swords, I mean, it's all unique items that we put there to make that an auction. And there's some excitement to it. People like coming in and seeing that, and it's silent auction, they write down their name and put their, word of advice though, if you're the director of the mission and you put in an auction item bid, don't put your own cell phone number down and your name down, because that's what I did. Because the person's like, oh, you're trying to drive this price up. No, I was trying to buy that cabinet for my wife. Because we're able to shop at our stores too, right? And so I'm just warning you, if you're the CEO of the mission, do not put your own name and your phone number down. And I did not take the cabinet, I let the lady buy it. So one of the other things, or one of the many things that we have here, you lose money. Mike and I found this through the years if you flat price. We've done many seminars on this, especially with clothing. We're not talking about like teacups and things like that. If you want to do 25 cents on those or 50 cents, we get that because there's a lot of labor that goes into that by self-pricing. But if you do have a china set that comes in, put that in your auction item or put a bigger price on that when you put it on the floor if it's a whole set, right? But if you flat price a pair of jeans or a shirt, if it's a name brand and it's out there and you can buy those pair of jeans for $150 and we sell them at the mission, you know, if it's a flat price, a lot of them doing it for $4.99, $5.99. Well, we can sell those for $29.99 or $39.99, and people are looking for that. We had a pair of Lucky Jeans that was one of our stores, and we had one person come and go, oh man, you got $49 on this. They're a brand new pair of Lucky Jeans. Man, this is a thrift store. Why are you putting $49? Now, we don't, most of our jeans are $4.99 to $7.99, somewhere in that range. Why? And so they're like, you know, well, listen, that's the price. That's an expensive pair of jeans. If they're brand new, they're $150 to $200. So they put them back. The guy the next day comes in, buys those jeans, says, man, I love this. I got a pair of Lucky Jeans for $49. And he went and told his friends, do you guys have any more Lucky Jeans? Because I mean, we would come and buy these, you know, for $49. So we value price, we don't flat price. And the reason is, man, be proud of what your pricing is. And you'll figure out if it sells or not. Those Lucky pair of jeans for $49 still sold for $49. But we'll have a pair of jeans from Walmart that you're going to put next to the Lucky jeans and say, well, your Walmart jeans are $4.99 and the Lucky jeans are, what's going to sell? The Lucky jeans are going to sell every time, and you're never going to sell the Walmart pair of jeans. So there's a lot of that goes into it. There's a little bit more labor with it, but we raise a whole lot more money. Go ahead, Mike. I know you have to talk about
I
this.
just want to add to that. When I first came to the mission and started working with the thrift stores, I worked for a little bit before I did any adjustments. So then I changed the pricing structure and kind of reevaluated and we adjusted it. And one of the biggest complaints that we had at the register from people was, how am I supposed to make any money off this? It's because they wanted to buy from us at a cheap price and resell it. As long as we're making our money off of it, I don't care if they can make whatever money they can make off of it, that's fine, but we've got to make our money first. I don't have to price it so they can go sell it down the street at a yard sale and get twice as much from us. So, you know, that was the complaint I don't mind hearing.
Yeah.
You'll also have to work for a store, you know, and I say this to my team, but if we put a $5 bill, if we gave all of our clothing away, and we paper clipped a $5 bill on the clothing, when they got to the register, they would want to know why we didn't paper clip a $10 bill. So, you know, it's just realize that you're always going to hear complaints about your pricing. So you have to watch what it sells for, and understand what it was for you to kind of create levels for your pricing.
Well, and I like Mike gives the illustration. Somebody will come up with a cart full of clothes and go, man, these prices are so expensive if they put them on the counter and pay for them, right? So they bought the product. They're going to complain no matter what your price is. You could give it away for 99 cents, and they're going to go, oh, man, you know. So, and I want to say this about the pricing, too. Make sure you're keeping your base prices. We have a good, better, best, wow kind of plan that Mike has. He has, how many, 100-something names on there that tells about what the price range should be. And we have that as a guide for our pricers to make sure that they understand this is the range that you're able. If it's ratted up and has holes in it, and you know, we'll probably put that in the bin for being bailed. But if it's, you know, wrinkly and stuff, we'll probably put that into the lower end of the price. If it's almost brand new, it's going to be at the higher end of the price, but that's what you're trying to do with that kind of thing. The other part of this is clothing will always be your number one product. You're a thrift store. People are coming to your store to shop for clothing. We have new furniture, we have used furniture, we have mattresses, we have bric-a-brac, we have all this other stuff, household items, but really they're coming to shop for clothes. The clothes are what's going to drive you. We're trying to be at 60% of our sales. We're probably around 50% of our sales are in clothing, but you want to be around 50 to 60% of your sales in
Are
clothing.
women's and children's clothing still your best? Yeah.
And the reason that is you're going to get more donations from people of clothing than anything else anyway. So what are you able to replace the quickest is clothing. So you are a clothing store first. Everything else is just benefit. Some of those things we drive to get people in the store, but they're coming there to shop clothing. Another thing we've learned is you are a retail store, not a giveaway store. And I mentioned this kind of with the pricing. If it's worth $49, put $49 on it. Be proud of your price. If somebody comes in and says, man, I've got these pair of jeans and you have $13.99 on them, well, those are worth $13.99. We have a price range for you. We have a $3.99 pair of jeans if you want those. Those are over here. Those are, the Walmart brand that we're able to sell you at that. But this pair of jeans over here is going to be $13.99. Well, I can't afford $13.99. Well, we do have the ones here that are $3.99 that you're able to afford. But, and we have discounts and everything else that go along with it. But make sure you stay, you're not a giveaway store. So if you have the item, and for us, we don't flat price, we're going to make sure that item has the right price on it. Stick with your price. If they come to the cashier, don't go, oh yeah, that's $13, but we'll do it for $5.99 just for you. No, whatever the tag says. Even me as a CEO, when I shop, and I like shopping in our stores, I pay the price that's on the tag minus my 50%. No. You must reinvest money back into your stores. I know Mike's going to love me saying this, but for a long time, we just sucked the money out of the stores. Kept on taking money, and never reinvested. We, hey, yeah, the paint's still good, the air conditioning units are fine, we don't really need new signage. Well, we started doing this about 5 years ago to make sure we were reinvesting some of our money back in. Best investment that we're doing. You're reinvesting in the business that's supporting the ministry. Yes, you'd like to suck as much money out of it as possible for your ministry, but if you do that, at some point, your stores are going to become decrepit, and you're not going to want to. People are not going to want to shop at your stores anymore. And then, without a plan, you will never hit your target. I mentioned that at the beginning. So, make sure whatever you're doing with your one store, or if you're going to have multiple stores, that you've got a plan. If there's not a plan, you're never going to. If you're throwing darts at the wall and there's no target there, you're never going to hit it, right? So make sure you have a target that you can reach. Otherwise, you're never going to get there. And our 5-year plans that we started back in the year 2001 have been the reason why this mission has grown. Let me state that right. God is the reason we have, but because we had a plan that we really prayed over and made sure that God, this was the direction God wanted us to go. That's the reason. Because we had goals that we could reach. Hey, we're going to do this with the ministry this year. Yes, we're going to do that. But we have to do this with the stores. We have to do this with our development department before we can do that. If you don't have those goals set, you'll never be able to get that ministry funded or make sure you're able to do those outreaches to the community. I think that was my last slide. So, questions you may have, answers I may give.
Tell them about your appreciation days.
Yeah, so we, in the fall and in the spring, we do, each store has customer appreciation days. We kiss on babies, we give out hamburgers and hot dogs, we make sure that the community knows that we love them, because our stores are not just in Huntsville, they're throughout the four counties, yeah. And so we go out there, we make sure that we're out there and present. I make sure that I'm there as many times as I can. How many burgers have I cooked through the years? 200,000 or something it was that we figured out. But it's a big celebration day. We have huge sales. Many thousands of dollars are done those days. But we cook hamburgers and hot dogs. It's all free. And then they get a 50% discount in our store just to say thank you. man, you want to continue to say thank you to your customers. It's just like your donors. You want to thank them. You want to make sure you're saying as many times. When I was for my undergrad, one of the things that I learned is it says that people don't hear something until you say it to them 7 times. So say thank you a bunch of times, because it takes them a while before they hear that you say that to them. So for us with the customer appreciation, we're just going out and saying, hey, thank you so much for shopping our stores, and that you're donors. Because it's for us, and I didn't mention this before, but it's about $7 to $7.5 million of our income. Of the 12 million comes in through our stores. That's a lot of money coming in. I better go thank them just as much as I'm thanking my donors. Any other questions?
Who's your competition, and why should I go to your store as opposed to your competition?
Well, you know what the problem with Mike and I is we've shared so much information with the people around us that they build stores that we've helped them build, that they build them next to our stores. So we have a local ministry here that we love. It's His Way, and they have the Saving Way thrift stores. And I think out of our 6 locations, they have 5 that are by our stores. But here's our philosophy. When we put a store somewhere, we do the Burger King, McDonald's philosophy. If there's a Burger King somewhere, there's going to be a McDonald's and vice versa. It's okay. If there's people coming to shop, they're going to be shopping. Those are our shoppers. So we'll put a store right next to, and we're okay if they bring a store next to us, because that's the kind of shopper that we want there. It drives more customers to that area. So for us, it's going to be Salvation Army, it's going to be Goodwill, it's going to be the local thrift stores that we've helped them build. But those are our customers, or those are our people that are out there for us.
How about your messaging in the stores? For example, when you buy a shirt, you provide 5 meals for a homeless person.
We do that, but we really focus on our I mentioned before that we have 2 different branches of social media. We do a social media separate for our stores than we do for our ministry and for our fundraising at the ministry, and that's on purpose. You have 2 different people viewing those. For our thrift stores, it's people shopping our stores. It's not always the donor at our stores that's shopping us. Sometimes they are, but they'll hear both sides of it. So we are really promoting people donating to our stores on our social media for our thrift stores, or we're promoting the shopping. That's really what we're doing. We say some of our signage and stuff in our store says, yes, you buy, it provides a meal, or you're helping a person have a night to stay. But our focus is really about getting them in there to buy. I want them to spend the $20 that they have in their pocket. A lot of times they don't care, and don't take this wrong, but they're not so worried about, hey, I'm giving this, I'm buying this pair of jeans, it's going for meals. And we do some promotions like that. But they're more worried about, hey, I've got $5 on me and I can buy a pair of jeans for $4.50. I'm going to go to the thrift store and buy it there. Go ahead, Mike.
I would just add to kind of one of the things that we do, we have a loyalty card, and you get a loyalty card, and on it, as you spend money, it doesn't tell how many dollars you provide.
Yeah.
And then we do promotionals within, like, for them to donate. In the fall and in around Easter, we do what we call meal tickets. It's sort of like an angel tree idea, and they can buy meal tickets to help us provide meals as a mission through this time where we have more people coming for meals and more people in the fall. And so that gives us the ability to help promote that. But we do find people who follow us on social media like the stories of the mission, but our number 1 post always, or in our top 3, is our calendar with all of our deals. Yeah, so that's the one thing.
And we have videos going on at the stores that show testimonies. We have posters that show stuff. But our emphasis when we're advertising is getting a deal. We want to drive the customer in there. And for us, we're using that money for the ministry, but they're going there to get a good deal. And that's really what we're trying to promote. Any other questions?
I don't want to dominate the discussion here, but advertising, we're, besides social media, you're advertising TV, newspaper, radio, billboards, what are you doing?
We've gone mostly to social media.
Okay.
I would say, 95%? Yeah. We occasionally will do, and now we do a lot of flyers in our receipt bags and stuff. We'll have a newsletter and a calendar that we'll put in there that has all our deals for the month. But most of it is on social media, and we're trying. Do you know how many people we have that are on our social media now? Because we have a lot.
So we use Facebook and Instagram. That's what we use. We use a marketing group now. We did have an in-house person, but what we found is when we lose that in-house person, it takes us forever to get revamped, and we actually would pay one marketing person more than we pay a marketing group. And we don't feel it when they have turnover. When I have turnover and work for me, I feel that turnover. I gotta hire somebody, and I've gotta try and be creative, that's awful. And then what was the other question?
How many people that we have on social media?
I don't know off the top of my head. Each one of our locations has its own Facebook page.
Yeah.
And that's because we found that we could do it, but we're in 4 counties. We would just have one particular sale, and you don't feel that neighborhood feel. And so by having the individual ones, they get to know their own teams, they get to know each other. But what we do find is when we do our customer appreciations, our customers shop at all of our
Yeah.
locations. Even that one that's far away, that's over an hour away from Huntsville.
We'll have people drive 2 hours to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
They're loyal to the stores.
They're loyal to our
Yeah.
stores, they watch our Facebook pages, when they see the calendars, we do talk about where the other customer appreciation days are, and they show up for those, and so.
The other thing with the social media that gets a lot of likes too is if we do things that are like crafty. So if we put something out like redoing a table or a chest of drawers or, you know, putting this together to make some kind of craft, a lot of those things get more likes because they come out and so we're trying to drive people in for that too. Like not just coming in for the clothing, but thinking of like, hey, I could do this crafty thing by getting some kind of old dresser or, you know, painting it up. And so we promote that kind of stuff too. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So like for all of your mission guests, is there like a separate donation for them? Like if they need-
Yeah, we have what's called a Agape shop at the main campus there. So it's a free thrift store. We still put it up by size and everything else, but they can go there and they can get, 3 sets of clothes for a month is usually what we do. And that's a community resource too. So people come in all the time and they don't even have to stay with us and they're able to get clothes.
So if somebody breaks into your store and needs it for the mission, you guys,
Yep.
people said take it back to the mission, use it in the kitchen or?
Yep, yeah, in fact, all our thrift stores even have a barrel out where it has a food collection going area, so we're trying to do that all the time. There's cross-marketing with some of that stuff, but a lot of it too is we'll have a lot of stuff donated right to the mission that we'll have a truck come up and pick up and take to the warehouse and distribute that through that. And we have some of our donors that are like, listen, we don't want this sold, and we try to be as good about that as possible. We don't sell anything that they say not to sell. And we try to educate them and say, listen, now, if we sell it, it still comes back to the mission. 100% of that profit still comes back to the mission. But there's still some people like, oh, I want that to go to a lady who needs something like that. And so we really try to honor that.
We have the Salvation Army and Goodwill in Norfolk, and a lot of people will drop it off at the destination and say, we don't want this sold, we're gonna give it to you because you don't sell it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we one of the things we try to do, even when I go out and speak at churches, is like, I'll talk about the thrift stores just real quick, and I'll say, hey, just so you know, when you donate, even if you say, hey, I don't want it sold, when we sell it at our thrift stores, all that profit comes back to the mission to help run all the things that we do. We still have to pay for the lights, we still have to pay for employees, and that's what that goes to. So we really try to make it an educational thing where we're trying to push that. And we're okay not selling it, but if it's able to be sold, we try to sell it. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody coming today.